Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the class. In today's session, we will focus on one of the most critical aspects of the circular economy, reverse logistics and recycling strategies. Reverse logistics plays an essential role in enabling businesses to close the loop in supply chains by recovering materials, products, and components that would otherwise end up as waste. Recycling is a key part of reverse logistics, focusing on recovering materials from end of life products to be reused in the production of new goods. As regulations around the waste management and sustainable production become more stringent, businesses must adopt effective recycling strategies to comply with legal requirements and to minimize their environmental impact. In this lecture, we will cover recycling strategies in reverse logistics, including material-specific strategies for metals and plastics. The role of reverse logistics in the product recovery hierarchy, and why reduce, reuse, and recycle are the most sustainable recovery options. The regulatory context driving reverse logistics and recycling, focusing on extended producer responsibility (EPR) and key EU directives. So, by the end of this lecture, you should have a clear understanding of the recycling strategies that support reverse logistics and how they fit into the broader waste hierarchy and the regulatory framework that drive these efforts. Let's begin by exploring the recycling strategies used in reverse logistics. When you think of recycling, what materials come to mind? How do you think reverse logistics helps in improving the efficiency of recycling systems? Recycling is one of the core elements of reverse logistics. It focuses on recovering materials from products that have reached the end of their life cycle and reprocessing them into new materials, new products, which helps conserve natural resources and reduce waste. The economic viability of recycling is often tied to the energy saving achieved by using recycled materials instead of virgin materials. For example, the energy required to recycle metals is significantly lower than the energy needed to mine and process virgin metals. In reverse logistics, the goal is to maximize the recovery and reuse of material to reduce the consumption of finite resources. Let's explore material-specific recycling strategies for some key materials like metals and plastics. Metals, such as steel, copper, and aluminum, are highly recyclable and provide significant energy savings when recycled. The recycling processes for metals involve several stages. Collection. Metals are collected from end-of-life products such as cars, appliances, or electronic devices. Sorting. Metals are sorted by their types, ferrous versus non-ferrous metals. Shearing and belling. Metals are cut into smaller pieces for easier processing. Shredding. The metal is shredded to break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Melting. Finally, the metal is melted down and reformed into new products. Now, let's look at some key drivers of recycling. Recycling metals save a significant amount of energy compared to using virgin materials. For example, steel recycling saves up to 74% of the energy compared to producing new steel. Copper recycling saves up to 87% of the energy needed to extract copper from core. For example, the automotive industry is a major source of recyclable metals, with over 75% of a car being made of recyclable metals. Reverse logistics system in the automotive sector ensure that end-of-life vehicles are efficiently dismantled and their metals components are recovered for recycling. Now let's look into plastic. Plastics are another common metal in the reverse logistics, but their recycling rates are low and their environmental persistence is problematic. Despite being lightweight and helping reduce transport emissions, plastics are difficult to recycle due to contaminants and the complexity of the recycling process. Let's look into some global statistics. Only 14% of the 78 million tons of plastics produced annually is collected for recycling. Of that, only 2% is closed loop recycled. The plastic is recycled into some product it came from. Collection systems. Single stream recycling, where all recyclables are mixed together, leads to higher contamination and poor quality output. Twin stream strategy, recycling. It separates fibers and containers, and it provides a better quality of recycled materials. Beyond just recycling, there is a growing focus on reducing and reusing plastics. This includes banning single-use plastics such as plastic bags, straws, and cutlery. Promoting the use of refillable containers and composable packaging, this shift requires systematic involvement from producers, retailers, and consumers. Companies need to design packaging that is easy to recycle and reuse and to move beyond single-use plastics. Now, let's look into product recovery hierarchy. How do you think the waste hierarchy, which prioritizes reducing, reusing, and recycling, relates to reverse logistics? Reverse logistics plays a pivotal role in the waste hierarchy, which is designed to prioritize the most environmentally friendly option for waste management. The hierarchy emphasizes the need to first reduce waste at the source, then reuse products, and finally recycle materials. The waste management hierarchy is structured as follows. Reduce. The most preferred option is to minimize waste by reducing the amount of virgin materials used and for designing products that are easier to recycle. Reuse or remanufacture. Extending the life of products through reuse, repair, or remanufacturing is the second most preferred option. Recycle. When products can no longer be reused or repaired, recycling is the next best option, where materials are broken down and reused in new products. Recovery. Recovering energy from waste, such as through incineration and or waste to energy plants. Disposal. The least desirable option is sending waste to landfills. Reverse logistics directly enables the top three tiers of the waste hierarchy. Reduce. Reverse logistics helps reduce the need for new materials by encouraging the reuse and remanufacturing of old products. Reuse or remanufacture. Products returned to the supply chain for repair, remanufacturing, or refurbishing support the reuse of valuable components. And recycle, where products that cannot be repaired or reused are broken down and recycled, reducing the need for virgin resources. Let's talk about some regulatory context. How do regulations influence reverse logistics and recycling practices? Can you think of any regulations that may either support or restrict these practices? Regulatory frameworks are major driver of the implementation of reverse logistics and recycling system. In particular, extended producer responsibility EPR schemes and EU directives have created economic and environmental incentives for companies to adopt sustainable practices. EPR. EPR is a key regulation that shifts the responsibility for end-of-life management of products from government and taxpayers to producers. Under EPR schemes, producers are financially and operationally responsible for the collection, recycling, or disposal of their products at the end of the life. This shifts the cost burden from local authorities and taxpayers to producers, encouraging companies to design products with sustainability in mind. For example, in the UK, EPR schemes for packaging require producers to pay for the full net cost of recycling their packaging waste. This creates an economic incentive for companies to use less packaging or more recyclable materials. Key EU directives. The European Union has introduced several regulations to promote recycling and reverse logistics. Waste Framework. Waste Framework Directive requires the recycling of at least 65% of the municipal waste by 2035. Mandates that landfilling be reduced to 10% of total waste by 2035. Introduces mandatory separate collection of textiles, hazardous waste, and bio-waste by 2026. Single-use plastics directive bans items like plastic, cutlery, plates, straws, and other single-use plastic products. Establishes plastic bottle collection target 77% by 2026 and 90% by 2029. Waste from electric and electronic equipment WEEE. It promotes recycling of electronic waste through reuse, recycling, and recovering. It requires producers to join producer compliance schemes (PCS) to fund collection and treatment. Other waste streams, construction and demolition waste is the largest waste stream in the EU, comprising around 35.7% of total waste. Recycling rates for construction materials remain low due to concerns about material quality. So, to conclude this all, reverse logistics plays a crucial role in enabling the circular economy by recovering valuable products and materials that would otherwise be wasted. Recycling strategies vary depending on the material being recycled, with metals and plastic being key materials in reverse logistics. The waste hierarchy emphasizes the importance of reduce, reuse, and recycle with reverse logistics. Supporting the top three tiers regulations such as EPR and EU directives are driving the adoption of reverse logistics and recycling practices by shifting responsibility to producers and creating economic incentives for sustainable practices. So, in the next lecture, we will continue our exploration of reverse logistics by looking at the business implications, systematic challenges, and strategies for overcoming barriers in implementing reverse logistics and recycling system. Thank you so much.